Alibaba gets all the attention, but China Mobile may be a better investment. I'm Jack Otter, editor at BARRON'S.com. I'm with Jack Howe, a senior editor at the magazine. Jack, investing in a stock that has a lot of hype behind it, usually not a great idea, but Alibaba needs China Mobile.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the valuation is going to look like when the shares become available to ordinary investors for Alibaba, but they will certainly be much, much more expensive, multiples of what China Mobile is going for. This is a stock that's 11 times this year's earnings forecast, and you know, it's a big phone company with a very solid financial position, sitting on lots of cash equal to around a third of its market value.
Big, like 700 million subscribers.
Yeah. You know, it doesn't have enormous growth right now. It got stuck with this sort of less standardized system for its phone service than its rivals in China, and it lost out on some of the higher dollar customers over there. But it's also ahead of its rivals in rolling out 4G. And if the pattern there in China follows the pattern here, I mean, we saw that as companies rolled out 4G, data use exploded, and that was good money for these companies. So the same thing could happen in China.
And the idea is people using their mobile phone to buy stuff via Alibaba. That's all money that's going to go to China Mobile. There's some concern about the Chinese government. China Mobile has a lot of cash on its books. Will investors ever see it? Unclear. But you do get a 4% dividend.
You get some of that cash in your pocket. We'll see what happens with the rest.
The stock's up over 2% today. Let's move on to Flowserve. This is a company that is capitalizing, we hope, on a couple of important trends, certainly fracking and the energy boom, but also the need for water and infrastructure spending.
Right, so they sell valves and pumps and all sorts of things, and they're selling these kind of unified systems to companies. And really, I think the big potential for them they've cashed in on the fracking, as you say. I'm not sure what the growth is going to look like there, but the capital expenditures for companies are very low right now, too low. Companies hold a lot of cash, and they're not being rewarded as much for buying back shares. To me, that says the capital expenditures are due to ramp up. Companies are going to build more factories, they're going to buy more equipment, and when you have these kinds of big projects out there, a company like Flowserve can really benefit from that spending.
So that stock also up around 2%. Both of these, of course, in the magazine this week. Let's go to a small cap twofer. Dave Englander writes about Brinks and Big Five Sporting Goods. Both of these companies, he thinks, have some good prospects.
Brinks had some Venezuela exposure, and the stock got hit there by a currency devaluation. So you know, David writes about some signs that things could at least stabilize there, and trying to improve the North America business, sell some higher margin services. The company is going for about half the price of its closest peer, a Swedish company called Loomis. So sort of cheap value stock there.
And armored trucks are cool, you know?
You drive one, right? Right. And Big Five, did you mention them already?
Big Five Sporting Goods?
So I think that's just a case of tough compares, right? That's a store that sells a lot of guns, and we had a sort of race to run out and stuff the cabinets with guns before we had gun control legislation that took away your ability to do that. Didn't really happen, and it's become harder for these companies that sell guns to meet the comparisons of these year-ago numbers, but still a solid company with a solid financial position and a good value for the stock.
And there is no indication anywhere that gun sales are going to be crimped by government.
I haven't
maybe
seen
people
that.
won't. Well, maybe their gun cabinet will be full, but I don't think we're getting any laws on the books that say you can't buy a gun.
Right, right. You can buy so many that you'll have all that you need, and then you won't buy any more.
Exactly. Thanks very much, Jack.
Thank you.